Hello and welcome to the MCG for a football feast on Fox. On the night, Josip Skoko and Graham Arnold say goodbye. It's Australia versus Argentina, the world's #2 ranked team. Well, it's a wet night in Melbourne, but if there are clouds overhead, there are certainly stars below. And they're about to grace this famous turf. Messi, Tevez, Mascherano, Zanetti, Heinze. Only the Brazilians can match that for a lineup of footballing talent, and only Brazil sit higher in world football's pecking order, according to the latest FIFA rankings. Italy, France, Germany and Spain all trail in their wake. But one Australian star is about to fade, of course. Josip Skoko says goodbye tonight after 10 years in the green and gold, and in all probability it's goodbye to Graham Arnold too, after a brief reign that's brought highs and lows. And he'll be imploring his team to give him a good send-off and warning that the DVD will be passed on to the next incumbent, likely, we think, to be Dick Advocaat. Well, Australia, by contrast to Argentina, sit 49th in FIFA's standings, just behind Mali and Guinea. And some feel they will be the guinea pigs as Argentina finalise their preparations ahead of the World Cup qualifiers, which for them begin next month against Chile. But even though this is very much an experimental Australian lineup, underestimate Graham Arnold's team at your peril, particularly with a big home crowd behind them. And we hear that they promise to adopt the same tactics used by Argentina's fiercest rivals to defeat the Albiceleste in the recent Copa America. Well, of course, Australia's shirt colour is almost the same, so we can but hope it will be just like watching Brazil. Crowd of around 70,000 inside the MCG, despite the inclement weather. Good Argentine contingent as well. They'll make some noise with their drums and musical accompaniments. They, like many dressed in green and gold, have come to see some of the real standouts of world football. Robbie Slater is my co-commentator as usual. Evening to you, Robbie. What are you hoping to see from Australia tonight?
Well, I'm hoping to see a good performance, just like you, Simon, and everyone else that's going to be here. Of course, difficult circumstances, a lot of players not here. Harry Kewell, Tim Cahill, Mark Viduka, just to name those. Brett Emerton, of course. So a lot of key players for Australia missing. Up against a wonderful side, #2 in the world. World-class players, to name just two of them, Carlos Tevez and Messi. And it's going to be a real job for Australia. But look, I think Australia these days on home turf are very, very difficult to beat. And I expect that to be the case here this evening. I think Australia, who have liked to try and pass the ball around in spite of what you said about the Asian Cup, I think we've always tried to play a passing game in the last 1 to 2 years. But I think maybe a slightly more direct style tonight with Josh Kennedy up front, who did such a good job during the World Cup.
Lucas Neal leading out the green and gold for the third time. There was some rumour that Josip Skoko would be the captain on his 51st and final appearance. But Graham Arnold has said all week that this is about the future. It's about the road to South Africa in 2010. And it looks as though the #2 in centre screen is going to be the man to lead Australia, hopefully, to those World Cup finals. Javier Zanetti on the left of your screen is his counterpart tonight, his 113th cap, and really this team just glitters with star quality. Here come the teams as they emerge onto the pitch at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, one of the great sporting venues. Well, always a good attendance guaranteed when South American opposition visit these shores. Last time they were in Australia, of course, was back in 1993 for those World Cup qualifiers for USA 94. Argentina just edging out the Socceroos by 2-1 over the two legs. The home leg was in Sydney. Diego Armando Maradona was part of the Argentine lineup then, and so was one Robert Slater for Australia.
It's certainly a wonderful memory. Of course, not the result. We did go out, but at the time, Argentina were world vice champions, and Diego Maradona came back for the playoffs. against Australia. He certainly did make the difference, but of course his career was to end in shame only months later after a certain game against Greece, in which the game in which he scored a wonderful goal. He was tested positive, obviously, for drugs, and that was it. Such a shame. For me, the best player to have ever played.
Well, we're going to see one of the world's best at the moment. There he is, Lionel Messi. Young Barcelona star, still just 19, and what a job for young Luke Wiltshire tonight, who we think will have the task of looking after him. Two teams all set fair to go. And we're set fair for the national anthems.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthems of Argentina and Australia will now be played.
Great atmosphere at the MCG. Must have been an emotional moment, particularly for Josip Skoko, as he hears the Australian national anthem played for the very last time as he lines up for his 51st cap as a Socceroo. These two teams have met 6 times previously as we take a look at Josip Skoko. Nice smile on his face, good way for him to bow out, of course, on his home turf, although he's actually from Mount Gambier, just down the road from here, and grew up in Geelong. As I was saying, the two teams have met on 6 previous occasions. Australia 1 win, Argentina 4 wins, just the 1 draw. Australia's lone win that famous night in Sydney back in 1988, when Charlie Yankos made himself an immortal with a goal from so far out. I think he was almost on Bondi Beach when he hit it. Last time Argentina were here, as we said with Robbie Slater, back in 1993. The coach, though, was the same then as it is now, Alfio Basile. Our referee tonight from England, Mike Dean. Let's hope he doesn't have a night like Graham Poll did the last time Australia had an English referee. Got a little bit card happy that famous evening in Stuttgart. So all the pleasantries almost out of the way. Team photographs, and we'll take a check on the two-team lineups. Starting with Australia. Josip Skoko's 51st and final cap, of course. Lucas Neal is the captain. Another squad put together with many absentees, which means another new-look backline, maintaining Graham Arnold's record of never having been able or willing to select the same lineup 2 games in a row. Luke Wilkshire's at right back, ostensibly to look after Lionel Messi, and there's a welcome return up front for Josh Kennedy. Archie Thompson will be a popular local choice in a 4-3-3 shape. Argentina are without Hernan Crespo and Maxi Rodriguez, who pulled out with injuries. No Riquelme, Cambiaso or the retired Roberto Ayala at the back either. But even so, what a lineup. Messi and Tevez, the 2 shining jewels, complemented by Mascherano, Zanetti, Barcelona new boy Gabriel Milito, and Real Madrid's Gabriel Heinze. Insua will probably float around behind the front 2 of Tevez and Messi. Quick check on the substitutes for the 2 teams, which for Australia shows 5 Hyundai A-League players, including the uncapped Dean Heffernan and Nicky Merger, both of course at the Central Coast Mariners. Argentina have another Real Madrid star, Javier Saviola, on their replacement list. And watch out too for the number 9, Sergio Aguero. He was the top scorer in the recent World Youth Championships. Confirmation of our man in the middle tonight, Mike Dean, who is from England, who actually suffered a suspension back in 2005 as we get underway with the green and gold. Kicking from left to right in the first half. Dean's suspension was for his involvement in a betting company. He's back amongst the official ranks and no doubt enjoying his stay down under. Promises to be a fascinating game, and of course Graham Arnold and perhaps Dick Advocat as well, Robbie Slater, will be looking at pointers to take towards those World Cup qualifiers which start next February.
Definitely Australia in a rebuilding phase, you'd have to say. Still a number of players with question marks over them, whether they will be around. So this is a great test against one of the world's top sides, world-class players, a side that are very mobile, very versatile. They move the ball quickly, capable of both a short and long passing game. And of course, the sign of a good team is also how well they defend. It's how quick they get the ball back, Argentina, that makes them so dangerous.
This is David Carney, who's adapted so well to life in the full Socceroo ranks. Now, of course, with Sheffield United in the 2nd tier in England. Made a couple of starts in the Carling Cup. He's doing rather well in his new country. First touch for Mark Schwarzer, winning his 51st cap, same as Josip Skoko tonight. It was a rather clumsy challenge on Mark Bresciano from Nicolas Bodiso, and from Internazionale in Serie A in Italy. So he and Bresciano will know each other very well. Here is Bresciano, of course, still with Palermo. They'll try and use the height of Josh Kennedy to good advantage at every possible opportunity. Now David Carney in behind the fullback, needs a good ball. Didn't get one, unfortunately. It was Gabriel Milito with the clearance. Beecham has dispossessed Messi. Decent start by the Socceroos. Josip Skoko gets tackled just on the edge of the Argentine penalty area. Now the Albiceleste can break through Jonas Gutierrez. Lovely flick from Tevez. Gutierrez again. And the tackle by Vince Grella. Now is Mike Dean blown for the free kick, or just given the corner?
I think he's given a free kick. Grella coming up, maybe a judge. Look at the skill here from Tevez. He's going to have to deal with all night. Gutierrez with the overlapping run. Shapes the cross, but there was no one in there. Grella really does get more of the man, so the correct decision of the referee. What a shame, though. David Carney breaking into the penalty box. Just couldn't produce the cross required.
Let's see what this cross is like from Tevez. It's an awkward one. It came off the head of Josip Skoko. Retrieved by Gutierrez, who has Bresciano for close attention. All the way back to his skipper, who is Javier Zanetti. Not the best header in the world from Luke Wiltshire. Tevez tempting the little 1-2 there. Didn't quite come off. This is Kalina for Australia. Thompson showing good feet. Very popular with the MCG crowd, as you might expect. And from Melbourne victory.
A good start by Australia, nice and sharp. Argentina probably lining up not as Graham Arnold would have expected. Lionel Messi expected to play on the left-hand side. Might do so at a later stage, but for the moment, it's Tevez really operating out on the left and Messi on the right in a two-man front line. And Zanetti thought, well, it does play a lot at right back, is on the right side of midfield. Gutierrez switching to the left-hand side.
Here's Messi with his first real chance to run at the Australian defence, and Michael Beecham stood up well. In towards Tevez. Tracked by Grella. Ense's touch. Gutierrez. Wasn't much space to work with there for Tevez, and Wiltshire ferreted away well for possession. Up towards Kennedy, who was a bit slow in coming for that ball. Argentina have it again through Gutierrez. It's easy enough for the Australian backline.
That will be a key when they win the ball off the Argentines. Australia, imperative that they try and hold possession. They had the ball from Archie Thompson. It was right back on Luke Wiltshire, up to Josh Kennedy. Turning the ball over straight away. They need to keep possession. Turn it over to a side like this, they will make you pay.
Well, of course, they've got a busy schedule coming up as well, the Argentines. They start their World Cup qualification campaign next month against Chile. That's a lovely nutmeg from Archie Thompson. It's not just the Argentines who can turn it on, and Thompson's work provides a free kick in a very dangerous position for Australia.
Yeah, great positive run from Archie Thompson. Coming from the outside, little nutmeg here on Mascherano. Continues the run, he skips past Milito, who brings him down. Easy decision for the referee. It's a good start by Australia.
Well, Bresciano has taken plenty of set pieces for Australia. They were a bit disappointing during the Asian Cup. I just wonder whether David Carney might fancy this one.
Yeah, it's from the side that suits the left footer.
Skoko's there as well. Wouldn't he just love to mark his farewell game with a goal? Bresciano takes it. Takes a touch off the wall, but Mike Dean will have it taken again, I think.
Yeah, and just wonder if they might change now. Bresciano taking that. Whether David Carney might take the next one. Having shown their hand.
Well, an early goal would be a huge boost for the Socceroos. Bresciano skips over it, Skoko takes it, back off the wall. Wiltshire. Lofted up towards Kennedy, good knockdown, Kalina, and then Bresciano! Oh, and almost an own goal at the far post. And Abel Dancieri picks the ball up. I'm not even sure he knew where it was.
Oh, how lucky to escape Argentina. Strike across the goal from Bresciano, but look at the threat, that's what he poses. Gives Australia something different, so dangerous in the air. And how lucky was Di Michelis to see that cannon off him and straight into the goalkeeper's hands. But that's the thing with Josh Kennedy. You can play the more direct style. He's such an imposing figure. And they'll have their work cut out, Milito and Di Michelis, in the heart of the Argentine defence to cope with that aerial threat from Josh Kennedy.
Well, we spoke to a few fans outside the ground before tonight's game, and quite a few remarked that they fancied Mark Bresciano to have a big game tonight.
No, he didn't get a hold of that shot. It's definitely shooting. Just screwed it. As it went across the goal, he didn't know much about it. Di Michelis, luckily for him, into the goalkeeper's arms.
There's Alfio Basile. Wily character, 63 years of age now. As we say, in his second spell in charge of Argentina. He's the last coach to bring them any silverware, the Copa America back in 1993. As Bresciano trips up Jonas Gutierrez. And he's going to be pitting his wits, incidentally, in the World Cup qualifiers next month against the former Argentine coach, Marcelo Bielsa, who's just taken over as the new Chile Supremo. Ball had just gone out before Josh Kennedy tried to retrieve it. Great to see Big Josh back in the green and gold after his horrendous Achilles injury that's kept him out for the best part of 12 to 18 months. He started the last few games in the Bundesliga for FC Nuremberg. He does provide a real aerial threat for Australia. I notice he's wearing the number 9 tonight. I wonder if that's an indication that he's the man to take over from Mark Viduka, whose international future, of course, is still shrouded in mystery. Little slip by Messi, well read by David Carney. Tidied up by De Michelis. Hence will go back to his goalkeeper. This is very much the style of Argentina, in particular of Alfio Basile. Patient build-up, lots of possession, retention of the football, and quick lightning burst down the flanks whenever possible. Here come Australia again, though. Archie Thompson didn't quite have the pace to get around his man.
Good play from the front men from Australia. Archie Thompson switching flanks with Bresciano. Drifting in from the left-hand side, but De Michelis very, very quick. Good to see the referee not falling for the dive from De Michelis, rewarding the corner.
Skoko to take. And again, Kennedy drove at the ball and attacked it. It's exactly what Graham Arnold will have wanted to see from set pieces.
A decent ball in. Josh Kennedy's such a threat in there. Attacking the ball. Up against Heinze. Just did enough, Heinze, to put him off.
This is De Michelis, who plays for Bayern Munich, so he'll know Josh Kennedy pretty well. Local rivals, of course, Nuremberg and Bayern. The ball lofted through, looking for the run from deep, from Insua. As the shot counts, makes for good reading for fans of the green and gold at the moment. Heinze. Now Leo Messi has swapped flanks over to the left-hand side. Touch for Gutierrez. Slides it in towards the near post where Carlos Tevez was waiting. Just the first little warning shot, perhaps, across the Australian bows.
Well, it certainly was. It just shows you how they can turn something, nothing into something. Really nothing much on there. Heinze playing it to Messi. Little ball to Gutierrez. So close, Tevez, to getting on the end of that ball. Across the 6-yard box. Schwarzer really didn't know whether to come or stay. Such a dangerous ball, that one. Tevez knows just how close he was.
Tevez beaten by Skoko, and I think Tevez thought he should have had a free kick for that. Mike Dean not interested. He sees those sort of challenges every week in the Premier League. Tevez should be getting used to them as well by now. Still yet to open his account, of course, for Manchester United, but he's involved again here. He's springs the offside trap. Messi waits in the middle. Well, there are two free here, one of whom is Enza, who blazes over the bar. And there was precious little cover there for the Socceroos.
Two on the back post. Insua made the run. Great little link-up play from Messi and Tevez, spinning off his marker. Gets around Peacham. Another dangerous ball across the face of the box, and really Enza should have done better from that position. They're so quick and so mobile, those two up front, Messi and Tevez. The danger is once you allow them to turn onto you.
Well, here they go again. It's Messi, and there's a slip by Beecham. It could be costly. Leo Messi.
It's a great tackle from David Carney.
What a tackle from Carney.
That's a goal-saving tackle. Messi slipped away. Beecham slipped and fell. Carney with a desperate lunge. Fantastic defensive play from David Carney, playing in a position we're not really used to seeing him play. Asian Cup, he played as a wing-back in a back three.
Here's the corner from Messi. Oh, Schwarzer didn't get there. Near post, it's drilled back across. And it is over the top. The Argentine bench look on in astonishment as Gabriel Milito couldn't hit the target.
And I think it was Burdisso with the last touch. As the ball comes across, Milito just cushions this one on his chest. I think he's shooting there. Comes quickly to Burdisso. It's really a half chance.
You don't want those sort of chances drop into your two central defenders, really, do you?
Just accelerating in the last 5 minutes, Argentina.
Full credit to them to stick to their part of the bargain and bring what is virtually a full-strength team over here. Giving people in Melbourne and right around Australia the chance to see some of these real stars of world football. This is Gutierrez. Little back heel again by Tevez. Touched by Mascherano. Zanetti slides it out. Messi attacking from deep. Carney trying to stick to him like glue. Grella comes across. Still Messi. Oh, Lionel Messi! Absolutely wonderful stuff. Back off the post. And Australia within a whisker of going behind. Still the danger not averted. It is now at least partially through David Carney, but a wonderful glimpse of the abilities of Leo Messi.
Well, you can't defend against that. That's just individual brilliance. That's why they're saying he's the best player in the world at the moment, and perhaps has the ability and potential to go on and be as good as Maradona. I'm not sure if he'll get to that level, but what about the skill? Quick feet, turned inside, outside, two defenders in front of him. He works it just enough, and he can still produce a shot of that quality. Had Mark Schwarzer beaten, there's Vince Grella and David Carney, and turned inside out. And he's so unlucky, within a centimetre of opening the scoring.
Well, I'll tell you what, there was a quote from the great man himself, saying, "I have seen the player who will inherit my place. His name is Leo Messi." And of course, that was Diego Maradona. You can't get any higher praise than that.
From the great man.
Shot count, incidentally, sorry, Robbie, has just shaded Argentina in front with that Messi effort.
Of course, he's left-footed, as Maradona was. He's small as Maradona was. Great balance. Different body shape. It's a bit rounder, Diego Armando Maradona. So there's a lot of similarities. And of course, he's already scored a couple of goals they've likened to Maradona's for Barcelona. One with the hand, I think, as well.
That's right, against Espanyol. There was the other goal, really, against Getafe in the Copa del Rey that's really grabbed the attention. It was a Maradona-type run. The type of goal he scored against England in the 1986 World Cup. Not the hand of God one. And it was so good. Apparently they even replayed it on Real Madrid TV. And that's saying something for a Barcelona player. Now Archie Thompson, who's made a good start of his own for Australia. Colina finds Carney. Carney's ball in, and Kennedy, the obvious target.
That's smart defending, isn't it, from Ainser? Tucked in from left back as the ball was floated into the box from David Carney. Looking obviously for Josh Kennedy, just a body check from Ainser.
Beecham didn't really deal with that effectively enough for Australia. Gives possession back to Tevez. He atones for his error, in fairness. Now Australia can set up an attack of their own. It's just a little far for Luke Wilkshire from Kalina.
Messi, the brilliance, look at that, just skips outside of the foot. Great technique for children watching at home. This is a player to watch. Dropped the shoulder. He's just gone back a little bit. He went the other way as well before he came back. Still produced a shot of high quality.
This is Gabriel Ainser. Just freshly completed his move to Real Madrid from Manchester United. De Michelis. Looking for the run of Javier Zanetti, who'd managed to stay onside. Now it's Josip Skoko. Bresciano. Nicolas Bodiso for company. Across comes Mascherano. Thompson drills it across. Might fall for Kalina. Up goes Josh Kennedy. Beaten in the air, though, by Gabriel Milito. Driven back in by Vince Grella.
It's a great play from Archie Thompson. Great touch as well to collect that ball. He looks very, very sharp tonight, Thompson.
Tevez's control lets him down. Not too often you say that. Wilkshire in a tussle with Jonas Gutierrez, and a goal kick is the end result. Big night for Luke Wilkshire tonight.
Yeah, I think he's maybe quite relieved that Messi's not operating as an out-and-out left winger, as we thought he might have. Playing really just with the real two up front. Tevez on the left-hand channel, Messi on the right-hand channel. But they do interchange all the time, of course, and Insua is the one at the top of a narrow diamond. Mascherano at the bottom of that, Zanetti and Gutierrez tucked in on the right and left-hand side.
Javier Zanetti forced back towards his own goal. He was a bit lucky there, Zanetti, the man known as the Tractor in Italy, for his ability to get up and down the pitch. That's a bit too far for Tevez, but Ainser retrieves it. Milito. Mascherano. Messi being very tightly watched, this time by Beecham. Gabriel Milito, whose brother Diego also plays in La Liga for Zaragoza. Milito, of course, now plays amongst the superstars at Barcelona. I don't think Messi agreed with that decision. This is Carlos Tevez. Works it clear beautifully of Josip Skoko. Zanetti goes to ground. Yeah, foul count, 5-2 in Australia's favour. Argentina worked the free kick short. This is Zanetti again. Mascherano over his own halfway line. Gabriel Milito. Rather aimless pass by Barcelona man. Alfio Basile is a little bit perplexed by that passage of play, I think. Yes, it's been a busy week for Basile's opposite number. Graham Arnold is also coaching the Olyroos. He leaves early tomorrow morning to take charge of their next game against Lebanon.
He's had a difficult week. Free kick. Interesting position for Australia. Bresciano territory, you'd think. Skoko likes to hit him as well. Ball played in. It's Di Michelis on Josh Kennedy. Graham Arnold's been up and back Newcastle to Melbourne, coaching both sides. Rather strange situation.
Well, situation that is about to be cleared up, as we understand. Some will say, about time too. Now, Bresciano goes for goal. Oh, it's a great effort. Abondanzieri didn't know where the ball was. It bounced down on the line, and it's behind for a corner. Graham Arnold crestfallen.
That's a wonderful free kick. Great technique from Bresciano. From some distance as well. It's a long way out. He curls it, gets enough pace on it. He beats the keeper. The keeper's so lucky that that doesn't all hits him on the head. It's a Felton. And he crashes back onto the crossbar. He's hit the crossbar twice.
Here's Skoko's corner. Beecham was driving towards the ball on the edge of the 6-yard box. So both teams have now hit the woodwork. Bresciano very, very unlucky not to claim his 10th international goal.
Well, during the Asian Cup, we did criticise the Australians over the quality of set pieces, particularly free kicks, and I know Bresciano is capable, and he certainly showed there. Very unlucky not to open the scoring.
Well, Skoko gave the ball away a little carelessly then. He's helped out by Beecham, who concedes the corner kick.
And Sewer making the run down the right-hand channel. Here's the free kick from Bresciano. Gets it over the wall, up and down with pace. Look at that, hits the crossbar twice. Normally you see that hit the keeper and bounce into the net.
Tevez with the corner. Josh Kennedy doing his share of defensive duties. Picked up by Mascherano. Javier Zanetti takes over. Bit of space for Insua, and who plays his club football in Mexico for America. Now Messi in behind again, all left foot of course. Schwarzer comes and claims, vitally so for Australia.
That's a great challenge from Lucas Neal, and it needed to be. He's come almost from behind to just get a toe on and stop the momentum of Lionel Messi.
He is as slippery as an eel.
He's a superstar. What about his burst of pace and his close control? It's like it's stuck to his left boot.
Well, I've heard some people saying he's more like Johan Cruyff than Maradona, but I think there's certainly a touch of the Maradonas about him. Long way to go in his career, of course. That's another slip by Milito. He's given one or two rather careless passes in this game so far. Grella seeks out and finds Bresciano. Shakes off one challenge, tried to hit Kennedy. Good goalkeeping by Abondanzieri.
Great play. We talk about the skill of the Argentinians. What about the chest control from Bresciano from that long crossfield ball? Pulled it down, skipped inside with the outside of his foot, so nearly found Josh Kennedy in the centre of the penalty box. Good goalkeeping from Abondanzieri. Certainly a good tempo to the game. Both teams have now settled. Argentina perhaps with more of the ball. Australia won't be too concerned with that. They will be concerned with is when the ball goes to this fella.
Well, I read that Argentine coaches can normally be divided into two categories. The beautiful style, as advocated by Cesar Luis Menotti, and the aggressive tactical style, as epitomised by Carlos Bilardo. I don't think there's any doubt as to where Alfio Basile lies. This is Bresciano, but Australia putting in a decent shift so far at the MCG. That's a full-blooded challenge involving Josip Skoko.
Well, they'll have one to remember on his farewell. Both going for the ball. Australia come up with the free kick. Of course, Josip Skoko, wonderful career. Had the pleasure of playing with him a number of times for Australia, and he bows out tonight. Not a bad game to go out on. Hopefully he'll recover from this challenge.
He's been a great servant for the Socceroos down the years. Of course, the latest of the old guard, if you like to call it quits, and there might be one or two more yet. Question marks over Viduka, as we've said, and maybe John Aloisi, perhaps even Craig Moore, Scott Chipperfield. Real rebuilding process ahead of South Africa 2010. Neil lofts it in. Kennedy, one of the new breed, knocked on. This is Zanetti, who had his shirt tugged by Skoko. Of course, it was on this ground that Skoko scored his last international goal against Greece prior to the 2006 World Cup.
Wonderful strike as well. Left-footed volley. The same end that he's attacking now, if I remember. Not only did he score in that game, I felt he was probably Australia's best player against Greece.
Very disappointed not to get some game time at the World Cup. Here's Messi, who skipped past Cardi. Skoko helped him out by tracking back, and that's what Australia have got to do. Got to help each other up against these supremely gifted individuals. No trip by Thompson, despite the protest from Federico Insua. Half an hour played at the MCG. Both teams have hit the woodwork. It's been a really entertaining game to watch, in my opinion, so far. Demichelis finding Gabriel Milito. Tevez. Mascherano. Javier Zanetti. Plenty of green and goal back for Australia. Carney gets the challenge in. Again, he's done pretty well there, David Carney. There's the possession stats. Argentina, as we suspected, well in front.
Australia won't be too worried about that. Argentina to pass the ball well, hold possession so well. That's because their players are so gifted technically. All 11 players able to move the ball quickly. And importantly, for the way they want to play, they have players that you can play a ball into them. No matter if there's an Australian or two Australian shirts around, they're able to control it and move it on.
Interesting reading, though, that Alfio Basile is not exactly 100% happy with his team's ball retention. He feels that they should move from midfield into attack a lot quicker. Maybe one of the reasons why they didn't quite go all the way in the recent Copa America. Well, they did score 16 goals en route to the final against Brazil, where they were whipped 3-0. Polina is offside.
Well, they started favourites in that final. Brazil didn't have all their players. They got thumped 3-0. And in South America, that means a great deal. Clearly offside there, very easy decision. Ball played through from Carney. Brazil have certainly got it over Argentina at the moment.
They've got it over most teams.
Very true.
Australian fans getting behind the green and gold. This wonderful setting. Beautiful sporting amphitheatre, the MCG. Zanetti. Gabriel Milito. Tevez. Well, they bounced off his shins and Australia pick up the scraps. Archie Thompson showed too much of it for Milito. Now Thompson's been penalised. I think he's a bit unlucky there.
He's very unlucky.
I thought Milito slipped.
He did. He slipped, lost his momentum. Thompson was past him. And here Hughes gets touched here. Milito miscontrols the ball. He's nowhere near the ball. I can't see how he can give a foul there. If anything, it's obstruction against him on Thompson. Graham Arnold knows that.
Here's Messi. Ball attached like a piece of string to his left boot. It's a great ball too. Schwarzer has come. Insua forced a bit wide. Schwarzer tries to backtrack. The goal is open and it's behind for another corner from Josip Skoko.
The ball played through from Messi again, picking up the ball near the halfway line, skipping through. He's got vision as well as he picks out Insua. Schwarzer did enough to send Insua away from the goal.
Corner was taken quickly and taken short. This is Lucas Neal. Bresciano's ball is cut out by Zanetti. It's whenever Messi gets the ball, real incisive movement. And he can just tear defences to shreds.
Well, he creates something out of nothing. He picks up the ball in areas where you think there's enough Australian shirts, but an acceleration. Drops the shoulder, off he goes. And on that occasion, had the vision to pick out the run of Insua. It's the thing with the Argentines, there's so much movement around the ball. It's not only the person on the ball.
Now, Josh Kennedy. Early ball in, Kalina was there. Just a couple of metres in front of him, and it's behind off Milito for an Australian corner.
That's a great ball in with his left foot from Josh Kennedy. Great little turn, turns to Michelis, whips this in one, vicious ball in with the left foot. Kalina just arriving a little bit too late.
He's made a good start on his return, Josh Kennedy. Led the line well, always been available. Drifted out wide when necessary. Australia's third corner. Under 10 minutes to go before the break. Flipped on by Carney. And away over the top by Lucas Neal.
Good near post run. Another near post ball from Josip Skoko. Hits this one flat. Comes across, gets a flicker. Comes back to Lucas Neal, to be fair, under pressure from Ainset. Really had to take this very quick. Hits it with the full instep.
Well, they've had a few chances, haven't they, Australia? It is perhaps the one area of the team that Argentina aren't quite at their absolute best on the flanks. I know there's a lot of consternation and debate as to whether Ainse is the best choice at left fullback for the Albiceleste. They've tried one or two different options there, and of course Zanetti normally plays at right back. It's more like Nicolas Burdisso playing there tonight.
And it's Burdisso that plays this ball forward. Oh, it's touch and go there, wasn't it?
Second time the Argentines have been caught the wrong side of the line. Kennedy. First touch was a little heavy. Just the one international goal so far for the Socceroos, Josh Kennedy. And it's on his fourth cap tonight. That goal was against Liechtenstein in the World Cup warm-up game in Ulm last year. This is Ainse. Mascherano, the Liverpool midfielder. No offside against Ainse. Decent delivery too. Carney in an aerial challenge with Carlos Tevez, and to be fair, the Argentines aren't going to win too many headers.
No, they haven't got a lot of height, of course, up front with particularly Messi, Tevez, even the midfielders coming through. Well, these are the areas, central and narrow, where they're so dangerous.
Now, Tevez wanted the ball, just slipped through to him by Javier Zanetti, didn't arrive. Neil gets a second bite of the cherry at the clearance, and Australia had to throw it.
Well, Lucas Neil knows Tevez very well, of course, played with him at West Ham last season. Two players that were crucial to the Hammers staying up in the English Premier League.
Josip Skoko's header. There's a lot of grease on the surface after all the rain in Melbourne today, and you just saw Michael Beecham slip as he tried to plant his feet and go for that ball. That will suit players like this man, of course, Lionel Messi. Give a little more zip to the football. 1-2 with Zanetti. Carney goes down, then Messi goes down. Half-hearted appeals for a penalty, maybe a bit more than that.
No, I think he did get caught, Messi, but he fell down late. Carney recovering. Again, the skill of Messi. There's a pull on the shirt. He gets in behind. Messi's using his body. It's in front of David Carney. And he definitely does touch him, but Messi doesn't go to ground.
Tell you what, I think if he goes down first up,
it's a penalty.
Mike Dean's got a big decision to make. As it is, it's a corner. Kennedy was there again for the green and gold. Tevez squares it, Insua. Lovely work, little dink to the far post. Wilkshire couldn't get there, behind by Beecham.
Yeah, good positioning from Michael Beecham. Milito was at the back post. He didn't attack the ball, though. Great skill from Insua. Shapes the cross, it goes down there, goes the other way. Just stands it up to the back post, but Milito failed to attack the ball.
Less than 5 minutes to go before the break. Whipped in by Carlos Tevez. Kennedy is doing some sterling work at the back as well as further forward. This is Gutierrez, plays for Real Mallorca in La Liga in Spain. Winning just his second cap tonight, the man with the ponytail. Rumoured to be on the verge of a move to Portsmouth in England. Well, his coach at Mallorca, Gregorio Mazzano, does not want him to go. This is Ainse, who's just left England, of course, done the reverse journey. Neil steps in. Wilkshire, chested down by Kennedy. Thompson was closed down by Mascherano. Gutierrez likewise, a little too over-eagerly by Wilkshire.
Come on, boys.
Just a few words of encouragement there from Graham Arnold, who's taking charge over all of his 15th game of Australia tonight, if you include the match against Bahrain at the start of 2006, where he shared the duties with Johan Neeskens. Bit of a mixed bag. 6 wins, 4 draws, 4 defeats. Back heel from Messi again draws gasps of approval from the large crowd. The ball had just gone out of play. Arnold Bob was saying this week he feels his legacy may be the lessons learned from the Asian Cup. He's quite happy to take some of the flack that came his way if it benefits the game in this country in the long run. This is Archie Thompson. Dropped him deep to get a sniff of the ball. Good skill shown again by the Melbourne Victory striker. Headed by Gutierrez, only as far as David Carney. Bit short for Bresciano. That's one back by Bodiso, and now Messi. Here's the danger again. He slaloms through both Skoko and Beecham. Tees it up for Tevez. Ainsley on the overlap. Oh, maybe should have gone for goal, Ainsley. They'll have to make do with a corner, Argentina.
Well, luckily for Australia, it's a poor decision by Ainsley. He should shoot. There was no one to pick out in the middle. It was a difficult angle, but what about the play again from Messi? Deep in his own half, picking the ball up, acceleration, ball glued to his feet.
Again, the short corner. Mascherano. Milito is lurking with intent at the back stick. It's perhaps understandable given their lack of heights that they don't put balls in the air, even from the set pieces. This is Tevez. Good challenge from Vince Grella. Gutierrez under pressure. Zanetti. So cool, calm and composed. De Michelis. Bodiso. Well, Tevez and Beecham having to change direction there. Fourth official just holding up the board, which shows one added minute. Ainsley trying to get in behind Wilkshire. And Wilkshire gets the benefit of the doubt there from Mike Dean. Basilio just got a quick shot off there. Took over, of course, from Jose Peckerman, who bowed out after the disappointment of the World Cup last year, where they went out on penalties to Germany. They were expected to go a lot further. Played some sublime football, particularly against Serbia and Montenegro. And they've played some pretty good football too in the first half here at the MCG. Australia have had some good moments too. Both teams have hit the woodwork. Messi for Argentina, Bresciano for Australia. And at half-time, Graham Arnold, I'm sure, will be very pleased with his team's work. And likewise, Alfio Basile. At the break, it's Australia 0, Argentina 0.
Just quickly, 6 subs you can use in the second half. Are we going to see the bench get emptied?
Oh, look, we'll see one definitely, because Stokes will come off to a home crowd round of applause. But we'll see what happens. If things aren't broke, you don't fix it, do you?
Thanks, John.
Cheers.
Mike Cockrell there with John Cosmina. It's a very happy Australian dressing room, and you can well understand why. It's been a great first half of football from the green and gold, matched by a scintillating first half from the visitors tonight. The Albi Celeste, Argentina, ranked 2 in the world. Let's get ready for the second half action and go back to our match commentators now, Simon Hill and Robbie Slater.
Well, I'm sure the message from Graham Arnold at the half-time break, and no doubt from the green and gold army as well, is keep Messi quiet. Just to put into context, well, that says it all, doesn't it? Just to put Messi's fame and fortune into context, Barcelona have a $250 million buyout clause against his name. That is more than double the entire AFL salary cap in Australia. And it has been, at times, a delight to watch in the first half. But Australia have played pretty well too. They've had their moments, and no question, and you heard it from John Cosmina himself, that they've been very happy with their first 45 minutes. have to keep their focus and keep their shape, as one or two substitutions will inevitably be made. Josip Skoko, who you saw lead the team out for the final time, will certainly be one. Here come the Argentines. I suppose if there's one thing they are perhaps missing tonight, is that all the brilliance really has come via the feet of Messi. They're without Riquelme, of course, the man who plays in the role they call the enganche in Spanish, which is almost like the hook or the link. In fact, I think it's actually named after the female dancer in the tango, the way she hooks her way around the male body. And certainly Messi has linked and hooked and twisted and turned, but maybe just lacking that direction in the centre of the park, Robbie Slater, although we're split in hairs.
We are. I mean, they've been pretty good value, but Riquelme obviously is a loss. Hernan Crespo as a judge to not have had enough game time, so when you're leaving quality players like that out and you still have this magnificent side that's out there tonight, to show you the strength and the depth of Argentina. But Riquelme is a loss. He is the playmaker. I'm not even going to attempt to try and go where you just went, Simon, but obviously Insua is playing in that role tonight, and although a very good player, left-footed as well, probably just hasn't got the vision of Riquelme. But certainly Tevez has been a little bit quiet for my money in the first half, but then again he's been a little bit quiet for Manchester United as well.
Well, perhaps hence the smile in Tevez's direction from former teammate Lucas Neal, as Mike Dean gets us underway in the second half at the MCG. A reminder, it's still goalless. Neal and Tevez, of course, shared a dressing room for a good few months towards the end of last season. Tevez knocked in 7 goals to spare West Ham's Premiership skins. And he'll no doubt look to link up a lot more with this man in the second period, Leo Messi. Here's Skoko playing out his dying moments as a Socceroo. That's a decent contribution at the start of the second period, finding Archie Thompson, who's showed little flashes of returning to something approaching his old self in the first half. Headed by Milito.
He had his moments, Archie Thompson, as did Marco Bresciano. Both look threatening at times.
Well, certainly Gutierrez is looking threatening here, but he's held up beautifully by Vince Grella. Good strength shown by the Australian central midfielder. Kennedy will chase. Abondancieri tidies up. Been a very willing worker as Josh Kennedy, and shown no little quality as well. It wasn't quite the quality that Australia needed from Skoko. Mediso plays it forward to Tevez, holds it up well, brings Mascherano into play. Tevez races away on the right-hand side, Neal across to cover. Neal does the job, corner ball.
Mascherano getting forward, probably one of the first times this evening. Finding Tevez, good defending from Lucas Neal, read it well, didn't dive in.
Milito is up from the back to offer a bit of aerial threat. In fact, I think it was Bodiso who got the header on target, but it was easy enough for Schwarzer. Now foul by Gutierrez on Jason Colina. Interesting the pre-match comments by the boys about Jason Colina. It would be nice to see him get him in more advanced positions at times. We know he can score goals. He's only ever scored once for the Socceroos. It's easy enough for Abondancieri. Long and very accurate clearance to find Tevez, who skips past Buchem and was then held back by Carney.
That's not great defending from the two there. Two players bearing down on Tevez. Ball over the top. Don't need to wrestle him. He's going nowhere there. Really, by diving in, they make up his mind. Allow him to slip through the foul committed.
Free Free kick, Argentina. Australia going to make the first change in a few moments. Carl Valeri, we understanding, is standing by. Meantime, some defensive work to do. Messi's delivery, free header, in off the post, and Argentina have the goal. Well, it's been coming. I think it's Martin de Michelis who's got the header unmarked inside the penalty box. The Argentine fans can celebrate, and it was real slack marking at the back from the Socceroos.
It's a great ball in on the left-hand side. Here's the foul on Tevez, a needless foul given away. Tevez was going nowhere. The ball whipped in with pace, and Sua, it's Paul marking in the heart of defence, free inside the 6-yard box. Look at that, don't miss from there. Thank you very much, he says. De Michelis opens the scoring for Argentina. Well, disappointed to concede like that. Just a lack of concentration from the set piece. It was a decent ball in, of that there's no doubt. Really no challenge, completely unmarked in the 6-yard box. Socceroos will be absolutely disappointed with that.
Martin de Michelis celebrates his first international goal in just his 4th appearance. And really, the Socceroos just caught cold at the start of the second half. There he is, the man from Bayern Munich. He's been likened to Franz Beckenbauer. Scored the occasional goal himself, but really, Australia will be filthy, and they've conceded that sort of a sloppy goal from a set piece. Saw a similar situation against Iraq, of course, in the Asian Cup. Now, 5 minutes played in the second half, and Josip Skoko's international career is about to come to an end, and he'll get a standing ovation, and it'll be richly deserved for his 10 years service. Thank you. And goodbye, Josip Skoko.
Emotional moment for Josip Skoko. Wonderful servant, as you said, Simon, in the first half. For my money, unlucky to have not played some part in the World Cup in 2006. And he's had a wonderful career and certainly deserves this.
Yeah, it's a lovely moment for players to be able to choose how to bow out. And I know that it's has come under a fair bit of criticism in certain quarters, but we saw it last year with the likes of Popovic and Kalats. And it's just wonderful for the players to be able to say goodbye, not only to their teammates, but also to the supporters. More so for Skoko, of course, because it's his home city. Meantime, Carl Valeri is on for just his 3rd cap, the man from Canberra, who's very much one for the future. The immediate future is concerning retrieving this goal back for Australia. Wilkshire slides it out towards David Carney. There's Valeri in support, and he's chipped the goalkeeper. Very nearly chipped up on Dansieri.
Robin Dansieri is surprised by that. Don't be fooled, it's a cross. He just mishits, and it becomes a shot. Dansieri off his line. Really, it's a pretty good save in the end, but he's mishit the cross, David Carney, so nearly got Australia back on level terms.
Well, he's known as the Duck, Abondancieri, and he was certainly flapping at that one. Here's the corner towards Kennedy, away by Milito. Heavy challenge. 25-30 metres from goal from Carlos Tevez, who receives a yellow card for that over-physical contest.
I think you might find that's been given to Ainset for talking. He's been chatting to Mike Dean the whole match. Of course, one of the Argentines, having played in England, that speaks quite a bit of English. I think you'll find that it's Ainset that's been given that yellow card.
I will bow to your judgment, Robbie.
Well, not many people do, but I might have got that one right.
Well, Bresciano's already hit the crossbar from a set piece.
A similar distance as well.
Argentina have scored from a set piece. Bresciano's shot, and Baldancieri is happy to palm it over the bar.
Well, he's got the range tonight, Marco Bresciano. Sure, goalkeeper couldn't have caught this one. Plenty of power on it. He prefers to just push it up and over. I think he should be catching that.
It was a hospital pass, unfortunately, for Australia by Archie Thompson. Messi, even when defending in his own third, it's difficult to shrug off the ball. Beautifully done again by Tevez, just switching the ball from one foot to another. Just a bit too much pace on it, though. Grella. Well, that was Messi-esque, if I can put it that way, from Vinny Grella. Some great skills on show from both sides. Confirmation. 10 points, Robbie Slater.
Australia now enjoying, for the first time, the majority of the possession since Argentina scored. The game for the last 5 minutes been actually all in Argentina's half.
Well, the possession stats in the second half still reflecting Argentina's dominance. Just the last 5 minutes, I'd fancy those stats would be a lot different. Pinpoint pass from Baldancieri, and Messi just leaves David Carney for dead. Fortunately for him, Carl Valeri was alert.
Well, I don't know how he did that. There was no space to do what he did. Outrageous skill from Messi.
Now here's Carney trying to exact his own sort of revenge, but there's not too many options up ahead. Zanetti was able to snaffle possession back for Argentina. Good. Here's the Messi magic again.
Look at this, no space. That's incredible. That's just quick feet. Unbelievable. Great balance.
He doesn't need space. He thinks it's overrated. Tell you what, how would you like to be a defender coming up this season against Ronaldinho, Messi and Henry, with possibly Eto'o when he gets fit for Barcelona?
Frightening prospect.
Bodiso finding Messi again. Free kick given. Australia going to make another change. And they'll do it now whilst there's a little break in play. Marc Bresciano's had a good night for the Socceroos. He's going to be replaced by Brett Holman. Well, he couldn't have come much closer to scoring tonight, Marc Bresciano. Brett Holman, who, common with many players, had a rather disappointing Asian Cup. It's his 11th cap, and his first involvement is to give away a free kick.
A decent match from Marco Bresciano. I thought a lot of positive things in the match. Nearly scored, of course. Good on the ball.
Foul counts. Australia double that of their opposition. Tevez with the free kick. As Jason Polina at full stretch. This is Messi. Almost like a matador. He was willing David Carney to come and take him on before giving him the quick olé. Mascherano. Gabriel Milito. Gutierrez. Finding Ense. Well, their passing is so crisp and precise at times. Even at full stretch, they managed to find the right man. Messi. Oh, this is a beautiful move by Argentina. Messi goes down. No penalty, says Mike Dean. What a wonderful move that was by Argentina, though.
Fantastic move. So nearly ended up in a penalty. Look at the little pass here. Give and go. A little back heel from Insua. He's had a great match as well. He comes across. It's definitely a body check. I've seen him given.
Holman trying to get involved, a little tug on the shirt of Javier Zanetti, and that was his second in quick succession, and Holman goes into the book a matter of moments after coming off the bench.
That's just over enthusiasm from Brett Holman, just come off the bench, as he said. Really a silly yellow card.
And from Nick Nijmegen, although he's looking for a move away from Holland in the January transfer window. He's currently busy taking his exams to get a Dutch passport, so the visa issue will no longer be a problem for him. Zanetti exchanging passes with Messi. Danger again for Australia. Clearance by Lucas Neal.
Again, it all starts from Messi on this left-hand side. Most of the time he's taken on David Carney. He's now just laying little balls. He sees angles that other players don't see.
Nicky Carl is standing by for Australia. They bring on their own version of South American flair. We understand Archie Thompson is going to be the man to make way.
Archie Thompson looked bright as well in the first half at times, hasn't really featured in the second half. Of course, at times difficult to get the ball. Argentina commanding possession. It's really gone back to Argentina now after a little spell for Australia.
Holman lays it back for Carl Valeri. Holman again. Dummy was by Thompson, but unfortunately made him look the dummy, as Kennedy was not in close attendance.
Yeah, he was expecting Kennedy to come from towards the ball. He didn't.
Well, that should give Graham Arnold the chance to make his third change. And Archie Thompson is confirmed as being the man to be substituted. Very popular here in Melbourne, of course, due to his goals with the victory. And Nicky Carl is on for his sixth cap. Now with Gençler Birliği, of course, in Turkey. He's played all the matches so far in the Turkish Super League. And he was telling me last week that his hero as a boy was Diego Maradona. I wonder what he thinks of Messi.
I'm sure he's a big fan. I mean, if you love football, you have to, you can't help but like a player of his talent. I mean, really, he's a genius in the football field. I think that's been evident tonight. So all the people who have come here, certainly witnessed one of the finest players to come to these shores.
And the scary thing is, Robbie, he's 20.
I've seen a lot of games of football. I've rarely seen a player of that ability. He's got everything. Mind you, he's not very good in the air.
Now that is harsh.
Mind you, Diego always used his hand.
This is Wiltshire for Australia. Square for Vince Grella, who's spotted Carney in a bit of space. How about that for a pass from Vinny Grella? Carney wins the corner off the shins of Bordiso. Another solid showing. David Carney, he's been embarrassed once or twice by Messi, but no shame really in that. All part of the learning process. High in the air looking for Kennedy, away by Demichelis. Nicky Carl prods it towards goal even. Almost a toe poke really. But now there's a chance of a break on. Messi is onside. Mascherano too. And Schwarzer plays sweeper to good effect.
That's great goalkeeping from Mark Schwarzer. He was so quick off his line, he needed to be. The touch from Mascherano was just a little bit too heavy. It's a quick counter-attack from the corner. They break so quickly.
And they work it from left to right where Messi was standing. Back with Bordiso.
They changed the system, Graham Arnold. Valerian Grella sitting in front of the back four. Now Kalina on the right-hand side. Nicky Carl operating just behind Josh Kennedy. Brett Holman on the left. More like a 4-2-3-1 now. Here's the goalkeeping from Mark Schwarzer. There's Messi bearing down on him with Mascherano. Great keeping. Can do anything about the goal, Mark Schwarzer.
Incidentally, Schwarzer is within 6 caps now of breaking the Australian record for a goalkeeper, currently held by Zeljko Kalac with 57. Schwarzer's 51st tonight.
Incredible statistic, really, for Zeljko Kalac, who's never really been the #1 for the Socceroos. Of course, been around for such a long time. Maybe a little bit unlucky to have not claimed that #1 spot at times.
Now Holman just dropped into a little hole there, which was a good position to take up. Squirts back out to Valeri, who finds Carney. Just trying to get the right shape for the cross. Oh, even the fullbacks can play.
It's a juggling exercise. I seem to remember at the Confederations Cup him doing something like that. And the ball straight to John Aloisi, who promptly smacked it into the back of the net. Certainly he was good that time.
Yeah, that was the last time the two teams met in the Confederations Cup 2005 under the reign of Frank Farina.
Brett Holman just has to be careful there. It's the tug on the shirt there. Look at this. Keeps it up. 1, 2, volleys it away with his right foot. Wonderful stuff. Looks easy, it's not.
Messi's ball finds Tevez, standing offside. It's not been his greatest performance tonight, Carlos Tevez. Had little patches where he's been effective. He's playing a lone striker role at Manchester United at the moment due to their injury problems. Here's Nicky Carl, meantime, for Australia. Through for Josh Kennedy, who was offside in any case. But the right idea by Nick Carl is the sort of passes that Australia will perhaps need to get in behind this Argentine defence. Maybe the sort of performer that Australia will need more and more in the Asian Cup qualifiers, or World Cup qualifiers, I should say. Grella, who's showing us his full range of passing tonight. This is Kalina, shadowed by Ainse. It's decent construction by Australia. Grella. He knew the run was there from Brett Holman. Into touch off Gabriel Milito. Now David Carney. Australian fans appreciating this little period by the green and gold. It was no foul on Nicky Carl, though. It's third Graham Arnold there, quizzing Josh Kennedy as to his state of health. Maybe just picked up a little knock in one of those challenges with either Milito or Burdisso or Demichelis. Another good ball to find Kalina. Checks back, again trying to make the shape for the cross. Can't pick out Holman. Grella gets there. This is a good period for Australia. Kalina. Little dummy from Holman, tempted 1-2. Mistake by Demichelis. Holman beavers away for the ball, and it slices off the boot of Abondancieri. And Australia will be able to continue their attacking thrust.
Yeah, good little spell. Great skill from Jason Klein on the right-hand side. And the play continued, and just a return pass from Josh Kennedy, a little bit too hard for Brett Holman, who looked like he might have been in with a goal-scoring chance.
Now the danger. An Argentina counter. Messi. Carney stood his ground well. Argentina are going to make their first change in a moment. Fernando Gago of Real Madrid. It's just a who's who of world football, really. Even on the bench.
Saviola. It's frightening, really.
Jonas Gutierrez is going to be the man to be withdrawn, we're told. This is Carney. Holman. Luke Wiltshire available and willing. Ball just a bit overhit, and that will give Argentina the chance to make their change. This is Fernando Gago winning his 9th cap. Gutierrez to be replaced. Gago's not getting too much game time at the moment at Real Madrid. He was signed initially, they thought, to replace both Thomas Gravison and Emerson, but he struggled to get in the first team. Still, he's only 21 years of age. And for those of you with longer memories, his playing style has been compared quite a lot to Fernando Redondo.
I was about to say, as he come on with his longish hair and his gait, very much like Fernando Redondo, wonderful player. Also played in that game in '93 against Australia, World Cup qualifier.
Jason Kalina has his legs taken. And Stewart looks angelic, but accepts that he was at fault. Fast heading towards the final quarter of an hour of what has been a really fascinating contest, in which Australia have played a very decent part indeed. Valeri, wrong option. Well, this is the goal that still divides the two teams.
Two players going for the one player there, Lucas Neal and Josh Kennedy, completely left.
Now Nicky Carl. with a chance to run at the Argentine defence.
He just mishits his shot, goes out for a throw-in, but back to the goal. And Lucas Nell, Josh Kenny getting attracted to the one player. Di Michelis ghosting in the free header. Here's the shot from Nicky Carl. Moves it really, it's just stuck between his feet, doesn't give himself enough room.
Well, there's the possession stats, which show that it's a lot more equal. Plenty of positives from this encounter for Australia. But the scoreline, at least at the moment, isn't one of them. This is Michael Beecher, who's robbed in possession in an awkward position. Mascherano finds Leo Messi. Carney again does the job very well.
And Messi almost looking a bit disinterested at the moment, or maybe he's tiring.
Messi. Beautiful back heel by Burdisso. Messi with 2 for company. Back to Burdisso. Javier Zanetti.
A great game from Zanetti. The veteran still looks as good as ever. So comfortable on the ball, graceful. Rarely loses it.
Well, that's why he was named by Pelé as one of the world's 125 greatest living footballers a couple of years back. Quarter of an hour to go. Alfio Basile is the edge of the technical zone, just organising his backline, I think. Maybe just a slight adjustment. Jason Colina's certainly seen a lot of the ball out on that right-hand side. This is Ainse. Argentina quite happy to play keep ball, even at the back. They're all, even the defenders, very comfortable in possession. As proved by Di Michelis. Messi involved. Dummy by Mascherano. Didn't quite get through to its intended target of Ainse. Neil. Josh Kennedy sets off on a run. Carney's there. Help out the big Nuremberg striker, and he's pickpocketed possession away from Nicolas Burdisso. Valerian Holman involved. Nicky Carl just trying to thread it through, and Kennedy just denied at the last moment.
Yeah, it's centimetres, isn't it? They're very close to getting through.
Now Wilkshire robs the ball back for Australia. Carl helps it on. Brett Holman with a chance to shoot.
Too many bodies in the end. Mistake from Ainse on the left-hand side. Maybe just didn't move the ball quick enough. The ball for here, Nicky Carl, just didn't have enough weight on it. Just took Brett Holman just a touch too wide.
Australian corner. Holman to take. Abondancieri opts to punch. Perhaps that's one thing that Graham Arnold will be a bit disappointed about. They haven't really got any decent crosses in this second half towards big Josh Kennedy. Or at least not enough. Mascherano just waiting for the support from Insua. who in turn wins the throw-in. Now, confirmation of the crowd tonight, 70,171, which is a great effort on a pretty miserable day in Melbourne, and credit too to the supporters who've come here in blue and white. Once upon a time, Australia used to struggle to pull a crowd no matter who they were playing. No longer the case.
No, certainly not. Soccer is a real brand name, particularly when you play a side of this quality. It doesn't hurt either. I'm sure, although he's gone a little bit quiet the last 10 minutes or so, no one will forget the performance of one Leo Messi here tonight.
Graham Arnold's reign as Socceroo coach in all likelihood has about 11 minutes to go. We will hope for some sort of grandstand finale. Messi hairs away after the ball, but Neil had a good 3 or 4 metre start on him.
Yeah, but he read the play well again. Good performance from Lucas Neil at the back tonight. He's marshalling the defence very, very well. Michael Beecham. Just disappointment the way they've conceded that goal. Didn't mind from a moment of brilliance from one of the Argentines, but to concede on a set piece so easily as they did, be absolutely filthy.
Alfio Basile is going to make another change in a moment or two. Federico Insua is going to be replaced by Christian Ledesma. Of course, it's important for Argentina to give some of their young stars a chance to get some international experience as well. Long World Cup qualifying campaign coming up for them. 18 games, starting with Chile and Venezuela next month. Tevez shows Cardi a clean pair of heels.
And of course the campaign. Yeah, Messi draws another foul. Be a yellow card. I'm quite confused what's happened there. I'm sure it's a free kick for Argentina. Here's a pull on the shirt from Carl Valeri. Just saying the South American qualifiers, well, of course football lovers will follow them, but not as closely maybe as in some years. Of course we don't have that path anymore, the 5th placed South American team.
Well, it's going to be a change for Australia as well, and Big Josh Kennedy's done well tonight, and it's an international debut as well for Central Coast Mariners' Nicky Merger. A real shot call-up during the week, really. I'm sure he's pitching himself to think that he's even on the same pitch as some of these players, but I'll tell you what, he's had a good start to the season in the A-League.
Well, he's had a difficult couple of years. He's missed just about the whole of the under A-League season 2. He's had a great start to this season. In combination with Sasho Petrovski up front for Central Coast, one of the reasons why they're on top of the table.
There's the new man for Argentina, Christian Ledesma, who's midfielder with Olympiacos in Greece and is known as Lobo, which translates as the wolf. I think he's the anchor type of midfielder. In fact, I read a website that referred to him as an intelligent meathead. Not quite sure what that meant, but I think I got the gist. He gets the tackles in, but he's a decent player. Here's his first touch. Mascherano tries to thread it through. Messi in behind. Schwarzer comes and blocks beautifully, and he might have picked up a knock as well in the process. But Mark Schwarzer was very brave and had to be so because Messi's pace had very nearly taken him past Michael Beecham.
Well, the ball played through. Mascherano just gets a toe on it. Messi gets in behind Beecham. He actually slips or goes above the ball, or maybe even touched by Beecham, knocked off balance, careers into Mark Schwarzer. In fact, he's pushed onto the ball. Schwarzer went straight down. Not sure if he was holding his shoulder.
It looks as though he's got a whack just below the right knee.
That's a fair way from the shoulder. It looks like he's right now. Hopefully he hasn't twisted it.
There's a wry smile from Clint Bolton, who referred to himself as Benchy when he was called up to the Australian squad last week. He's been the deputy for Mark Schwarzer for many an occasion. Another change by Argentina. Carlos Tevez is going to be replaced by Javier Saviola, these days, of course, of Real Madrid. So off goes Apache, and on comes El Conejito, which translates to the little rabbit. Why? I'm not sure. Maybe because he just pops up in the box now and then.
And a bad substitute to bring on. Of course, left Barcelona for Real Madrid. He's not going to have too long to make an impression. Good to see Mark Schwarzer looks okay. Of course, that's what managers in England, or wherever the players are playing, of course, Italy or Belgium, Holland, managers all sweating on their players coming back injury-free.
I'll tell you what, the Bayern Munich coach, Ottmar Hitzfeld, actually said of Martin Dimichelis that it was an insult he had to fly so far to Australia. But Dimichelis feels a bit differently after scoring that goal.
Well, we're not the most popular destination in football terms, or in the football world.
One word for that: tough.
Well, it is tough travelling. Someone who did it for a long time. It's not easy to get back to Europe. A couple of days, recuperate and play matches.
Well, you tell 70,000 people here tonight that it's not a worthwhile journey.
Oh no, most players want to do it, particularly Australians. I always love doing it.
Now, is there a goal in this game for Australia? Certain parts of their players perhaps deserved one. Bresciano came very close, of course, in the first half. Nick Carl, now to the other Nick, Merger. Carl's heading strength is not perhaps his best attribute.
Well, I guess that's Australia. Certainly played some good stuff in the second half. And Argentina seemed to have relaxed really since they took the lead, through Dimichelis. But really haven't made the goalkeeper Abondanseri worked that much. One save from a cross-come shot from David Carney. Really, apart from that, I can't remember him being worried too much.
Messi was cut off at the pass by Michael Beecham. Quite a coup for the Central Coast Mariners club up there on Gosford on the east coast of Australia. Their former centre-half Beecham at the back, and their current centre-forward up front. Their left-back on the bench.
And they're sitting on top of the table. Not bad, is it? Dean Heffernan, also after a difficult season, coming back from Germany. And Nicky Merger, of course, as I said just before, hasn't played any football last season.
And we shouldn't forget Tony Vidmar in the commentary box.
But of course, now Australia move into a new era. Graham Arnold in his last game in charge. In spite of what some people might say, well, one thing's for sure, it's been a difficult period since Gus Hiddink took over. Since Gus Hiddink left, rather, to a successful World Cup. It's always going to be a difficult job. Maybe not always helped by the FFA, really. Thrown in at the deep end at some times. And I tell you, sorry, Simon, if it is Dick Advocado, who it may be, as Vinnie Grella comes sliding in there, he's going to get a yellow card. But the new coach has got a hell of a job to qualify us for 2010. There's a lot of work to do with this team. It's a full-blooded challenge there from Vinnie Grella. The feet aren't up.
I think you're being a bit kind there, Robbie. I think that's a poor challenge from Vinnie Grella.
Well, it is a poor challenge, but I don't think it's a red card, because the feet aren't up, and that's why he escapes with the yellow. Mike Dean was right on the spot.
There's a few words being exchanged. Of course, Vinnie Grella doesn't do friendlies. He is a real competitor in every sense of the word, but, well, that was clumsy at best and dangerous at worst for mine. Now, meantime, changes continue to come thick and fast, and it's going to be Leo Messi to be replaced. I'm sure he's going to get a very generous round of applause, not just from the Argentine fans either. So Vinnie Grella gets the yellow. Mascherano should be okay to continue. And they're going to have to wait a moment or two before they can make their expected change. Maybe just time for one last moment of Messi magic. Well, he's been a delight to watch. Into injury time at the MCG. Australia have only failed to score in 3 of the last 20 internationals. Staring down the barrel, and here comes Messi trying to make it even more emphatic. Little dig towards the far post, on the volley, saved by Schwarzer. Didn't really catch it, Ledesma.
No, didn't hit it with any conviction. Great chance at the back post. That's a poor finish. But I think Messi just... First time I think I've criticised him tonight. Really just went a little bit too slow as that ball broke. A 2-on-1. That'll be the last part he plays.
Well, he's getting a great ovation, and rightfully so.
Great stuff. Real treat to have seen him here tonight. And as you said, 20 years old. Frightening.
I'll tell you what, his replacement, Sergio Aguero, is just 19, and he's just whacked in 6 goals at the FIFA Under-20 Championships in Canada, which, naturally enough, Argentina won. And picked up the golden ball for the best player to boot as well. So they've got stars everywhere you look. Here's another one of them, Javier Mascherano, held up by Beecham. There'll be 3 additional minutes, incidentally, of which we've played nearly 2 already. So surely the final roll of the dice for Australia as they try and get back on level terms. Crowd urging the green and gold on. They know that time is short. Dummy by Holman. Berger trying to put it back into his path. Polina to Grella. Cannoned off the boot of Nick Carl. That could be it for Australia. They don't get possession back very cheaply from Argentina. Ledesma is clipped on the heel by Holman. confirms the victory for Argentina. Graham Arnold's reign is over. Josip Skoko's international career is over. Argentina just a little too good, just a little too smart. And in terms of Leo Messi, just a little too skillful for Australia. And that's why Alfio Basile's team are number 2 in world football. Australia gave it their all. Bresciano hit the post. And they had a couple of other chances besides. A decent performance by the Socceroos. They'll take plenty from it. But it's the Argentine fans who can celebrate because their team has claimed victory at the MCG. Final score in Melbourne. Australia 0, Argentina 1. Well, as the players exchange shirts and pleasantries, Robbie Slater, your overall thoughts on the performances of both the teams tonight?
Well, I think you summed it up pretty well. Argentina just a little bit too good. Australia didn't create enough chances. Of course, a lot of absentees. But Argentina, very good to watch him. One player, Leo Messi, of course, a very special player. One that 20 years old, we're going to hear much more about. For Australia, a good performance as well. When you consider how many players are missing. And I think if this is the last game for Graham Arnold, then he'll have a lot of interesting information to send over to the new coach, or hand over to the new coach. And the new coach will have a big job. There's a lot of work to be done with this team to qualify us for 2010.
Well, one man who won't be there in 2010 is Josip Skoko, who, of course, has retired tonight from international football. He's now speaking on the pitch with Mike Cockrell.
Well, Josip, 10 years in the green and gold, a lot of great memories. Is this up there with them?
Oh, you know, it was a special night for me, whatever the result. You know, I think we did enough to get at least a draw tonight. We were a bit unlucky, but, yeah, all in all, it's been a great career, and it was a fitting night.
When you started, of course, playing in front of 7,000 was normal. Now you're playing in front of 70,000. You must think the game's going great guns.
Well, it is. I mean, when you get 70,000 to a home game, you know, you've got to be happy with that. And things have changed, and, you know, that's how modern-day football is for us in Australia now.
When you got subbed in the second half early here at the G in front of your hometown fans, how did that feel?
Well, it felt like, you know, a big part of my life I'm leaving behind, but it was a very special moment here at the G with all my fans here, so a big thank you to everyone here.
And finally, do you feel you're leaving the team in good shape?
Well, you've seen tonight we've got a lot of young boys coming through, and I think the future looks very promising.
Best of luck, Josip.
Thanks, mate.
Well, Lucas Neal, obviously a lot of disappointment at the Asian Cup, but the team had a lot of pride out there tonight.
Yeah, it was a good challenge for us, and it's good to get the ghosts out of the Asia Cup. Great team we played tonight, and they give us a real test, but for long periods I thought we were able to contain them without actually being too threatening ourselves. So apologies it wasn't more entertaining, but you know, in world football now it's always going to be close.
A lot of positives out of the game, but I guess the goal was a disappointing one to concede.
Yeah, early in the second half and set piece, should pride ourselves on that. But yeah, that's football.
Ask the same question I asked Josip. The team is starting to look in good shape now.
Yeah, some great young players coming through, and you know, obviously we're building for 2010. It's all about gaining experience and getting to know each other, so that when that time comes, we're back where we were in 2006.
And just finally, Graham Arnold, possibly his last game tonight. A message for him?
Yeah, it's been great for Australia for a number of years now, and if this is his time to leave us, then we thank him, and we hope that he still plays a part somehow.
Thank you, Lucas.
Thank you.
Mike Cockrell on the pitch there with Josip Skoko and Lucas Neal, the captain. Well, there are still some smiles on the green and gold, and understandably so. They played a full part tonight and had their opportunities, and interesting words from Lucas Neal and Josip Skoko about the next generation. Of course, we've seen one or two of them tonight. I thought David Carney again stood up pretty well, Josh Kennedy. And of course, there are others to come, Robbie, the likes of David Williams, perhaps, Matt Sporanovic, Adrian Leia, Dario Vidicic, those sort of players.
That's what I mean when the new coach comes in. It looks like it's going to be Advocaat. Big job to do to continue the education of these younger players. You're right, David Carney. He played as a left wing back during the Asian Cup, where back three and him on the left-hand side in a 5. Tonight he played an out-and-out left back and did a very good job. Of course, he had difficult times against Messi, and he wouldn't be on his own there in world football, but I thought, all in all, he had a pretty good match and proved that he is a player that can step up to this level.
Thanks very much, Robbie. So as the Socceroos make their way off the turf at the MCG, despite the celebrations and the applause of the fans, they've slipped to defeat courtesy of this goal from Martin Demichelis. After the break, Andy Harper and the boys with all the analysis.